Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. This is a 60-minute slow flow practice. Start seated in a way that is comfortable for your hips and comfortable for your low back. So for me, that's cross-legged. And you can rest the palms on the tops of the knees. Sit up nice and tall, shrug the shoulders down and away from the ears. Get a gentle tuck of the chin so the back of the neck can be long, and close the eyes. Try to align your spine nice and straight so you're not leaning forward or backwards. This hour is for you to connect with your body and with your breath. Knowing that everything else that is on your mind and that you need to do really can wait. This is your sacred pause. So make the most of your time here. Breathing in and out through the nose. See if you can get your inhale to be just as long as the exhale. You can start inviting your Ujjayi breath, which is like an ocean sound. You obtain this breath by lightly constricting at the back of the throat. Similar to the action you do if you're trying to fog up a mirror, but you're keeping your lips together. If you notice your mind wandering, bring the awareness back to the breath, back to the inner stillness you're creating. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice, now would be the time to do so. Ask yourself what you're trying to work on today, or what you want to keep with you as we flow. This can be a mantra, or an affirmation, or a feeling that you want to focus on. Whatever it may be, make it crystal clear in your mind. And we'll take a cleansing breath to really set and ground that intention. Inhale through the nose and out the mouth. Slowly opening up the eyes. Let's take a very simple breathing exercise. We'll do our alternate nostril breath. There are quite a few different ways to do it. My favorite way, and I think the way that is the most beginner friendly, is to just use your right hand and bring the 3 middle fingers down so that you have your thumb and your pinky finger sticking out. And I'll just demonstrate it first. So you'll be blocking or sealing off your right nostril with your thumb and exhaling out of the left nostril. And then inhale through the left nostril for a count of 4, 5, or 6. And then you're sealing off the left nostril with your pinky and exhaling through the right for 5 or 4, 5 or 6 counts. So moving through, inhaling through the right nostril for that same count, sealing it off and exhaling through the left. So let's begin. Seal off the right nostril, exhale through the left, let all of the air out, and then inhale through the left nostril for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Seal it off and exhale through the right for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Seal it off. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Go at your own pace, counting by yourself about 5 more rounds. Keep going. Softening the gaze, relaxing the facial muscles. Still sitting up nice and tall without any tension in the shoulders or in the neck or lower back. A wonderful cooling breath that helps to clear out mental clutter or stagnant energy. About 2 more full rounds. So the next time you exhale fully from the left nostril, that will be the end of your cycle. Rest your hands on your knees and come back to whatever breath is natural to you. Observing the effects that the breathing has had on your mind, on your body. Reconnect to the intention you set for yourself for this class. And opening up the eyes, let's make our way into a wide-legged child's pose, moving into asana, into our physical practice. Big toes come together, knees go as wide as you would like them to be. So the wider they are, the deeper the stretch will be to the inner groin and in the hips. Just be careful that it's not too much for your low back. Stretch the arms forward and bring your forehead down. And draw the shoulder blades down the back. Melt the hips and the chest down. Come back to your Ujjayi ocean breath. Walking the palms in, inch by inch. Let's make our way into our tabletop pose on your hands and knees. Bring your knees underneath your hips and your palms are underneath the shoulders. Fingertips are spreading wide so that the middle finger and index are pointing towards the top of the mat. Taking our cat and cow, so as you inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, curl tailbone up, open up the chest and the heart. Exhale, round and contract, chin to chest, tailbone down. A few more rounds. Inhale, lift. Exhale, contract. Inhale, reach it forward. Keep the elbows straight. Exhale to round. Last one. Breathe in. And breathe out. Come back into your neutral spine, so tabletop pose, belly is engaged. Let's just trace some big hip circles. So with the knee bend, you're just going to open up your hip and see if you can tap your knee towards your outer arm without letting the left elbow bend. So really strong through your arms, shoulders, and core. Opening up the joints. Tracing these large circles and engaging the glutes. Take about one more. And the next time you come up, keep the knee bent, reach through the heel, drop the belly, lift the gaze, press into the heel and the sole of the foot. As you exhale, pull your knee in towards your nose, round and contract. Two more like this. So inhale, like your cat and cow, but the right leg is lifted. Exhale, squeeze it through. Last one, inhale, rise and lift. Exhale, squeeze it in, and let's step our right foot forward to the top of the mat. Stay high on the tips of your fingers, bend the right knee, drop the hips and lift the gaze up, stretching into your hip flexors. Be mindful of keeping your knee over the top of the ankle and not letting it go too far past your foot. Feel the opening in the chest. And coming back into our tabletop pose on your hands and knees, right knee comes back next to the left. Tracing those big hip circles with the left leg this time, so reach it all the way up and then feel it open around as you tap your knee towards the shoulder. Keep the right elbow straight. Take about two more full circles, flowing with your breath. So notice the tendency to hold the breath whenever we're moving, or whenever there's a little bit more strength required. Take your last one here, and then we're gonna reach the left foot straight up towards the sky, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, pull your knee towards your nose, round through the upper back. Two more, inhale, reach it up. And exhale, squeeze it in. Last one, inhale up. And exhale, squeeze it in and step that foot forward. Into your low lunge, press the hips forward and down, align your ankle underneath the knee, staying on the fingertips, lift the heart. Breathe as you stretch into your right hip flexors and open up into the low back a little bit. Just gently inviting our body to open up a little more as we warm up. Let's bring our palms down. In your tabletop pose, we're gonna lower all the way to our belly. Pointing the toes back, keep your feet glued and pressing down to the floor. We'll take our 3 little baby cobras, helps to warm up the spine a little bit more. Reach your tailbone to your heels. As you inhale, upper body only lifts up, squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. Exhale, lower down. 2 more. Inhale, lift up. And exhale to lower. Last one, inhale, rise. Exhale to release. Bring your palms underneath your shoulders or more towards the top of the rib cage. We're gonna take a little cobra. So keep the elbows bent and squeezing in towards your ribs and then lift up. So no need to go too high up here. Keep your hips grounded on the floor. Press into the tops of the feet. Pull the elbows in and draw the heart forward. One more breath. And let's release. We're gonna come into our first downward facing dog. Keep your palms shoulder width distance apart, feet are hip width distance apart. Tuck the toes as you lift the hips up and back. Go ahead and paddle the feet, make any little movements or adjustments that you need to do here to help free up the hips and the hamstrings. Generally speaking, when it comes to the distance we want between our hands and our feet, you mostly want to be able to come into a plank pose and down dog without having to readjust your stance too much. Don't worry about getting your heels to the ground. That may or may not happen. Really bend your knees as much as you need to. We are still just warming up. Soften your neck, straighten the arms. See if you can lift your hips up and back a little more. A really, really strong pose helps to open up the entire body, engaging all the major muscles. Let's make our way to the top of the mat. So take your time, take tiny little steps, engage the hip flexors as you do this. Take your ragdoll fold at the top of the mat, so soften the upper body over the legs. Holding on to opposite elbows, swaying side to side or front to back. Let go of any tension still lingering around in the neck, maybe shaking out the head. Releasing fingertips down to the floor, bend your knees generously and slowly come all the way up to stand, inch by inch. Head and shoulders are the last to make their way up. Palms shine forward towards the front of your mat. In order to warm up, we're going to start moving through our sun salutations. We'll first start with our half sun salutations and then go into our sun A's. So at the top of the mat, bring your big toes together, heels maybe an inch or so apart. As you inhale, reach the arms up overhead, bring your palms together to touch. As you exhale, fold forward. Feel free to bend your knees to protect your low back if your hamstrings are still tight. Halfway lift, fingertips come onto the shins, heart reaches forward, flat back. Exhale, fold all the way down. So press to stand, both arms reach up overhead, palms come together to touch. Exhale, hands at the heart. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reach and lift. Exhale, hinge at the waist and fold, strong legs, relax your neck. Halfway lift, flat back, no rushing, stretch out the breath. Exhale to fold. Press to stand, both arms reach up overhead, palms come together to touch. And then exhale, hands at the heart. We're gonna take 3 rounds of our Sun Salutation A, modifying them for the first once, maybe all 3 times, depends on where you are in your practice. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge at the waist, fold down. Find your halfway lift, maybe fingertips stay on the floor. Exhale, plant the palms. Let's step the feet back for this first one, so one at a time. As you inhale, you find your plank pose. Core is really strong. Squeeze the inner thighs. If you need to modify, lower your knees to the ground. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, let's all drop our knees down first and lower to your belly. So bend the elbows and keep them close in towards the ribs as you lower down. Pointing the toes back, lifting up to Cobra. Chin and chest come up, hips are grounded. And then exhale back into your downward facing dog. Take your full breath in your down dog. And at the end of your exhale, look forward and take 2 steps to the top of your mat. Big toes together. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold and soften down. Press to stand, both arms reach up overhead, palms come together to touch. Exhale, hands at your heart. Feel free to stay in this modified version for the next 2 sun salutations, or we can progress and go a little bit further into it. So increasing the intensity. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, let's plant the palms. Step it back this time too, because we're gonna go to Cobra instead of going to our upward dog. So inhale, plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Knees are lifted, elbows are close. Point the toes back. Inhale, Cobra, chin and chest lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale in your down dog. And on the exhale, let's lift the heels, bend the knees, look past your palms, and you can step or hop to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold down. Press to stand, both arms reach up overhead, palms come together to touch. Exhale, hands at the heart, our full Sun Salutation A. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, plant the palms. Let's hop back to chaturanga with the elbows bent. Inhale to your upward dog, so the hips are lifted off the ground. Exhale, downward facing dog. Core strength pulls you there. Take an inhale in your down dog. On the exhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold down. Press to stand, both arms reach up overhead, palms come together. Exhale, hands at the heart. Moving into Sun Salutation B, big toes together, heels are apart. Bend the knees, drop the hips. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fold, belly over the thighs. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the palms, hop back, chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward in between the palms, left foot at a 45-degree angle. Warrior one, reach the arms up, hips and shoulders facing towards the front of the mat. Exhale, palms down, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left side, warrior one. Step your left foot forward, right heel down. Breathe in as you lift up with the upper body and press the palms together. Exhale, hands down, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, down dog. On the exhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop. Halfway lift and fold down. Chair pose, bend the knees, reach up. Press to stand, arms alongside your body. Palms are shining forward, lower belly is drawing in, tailbone is down. So we're gonna do our Sun Salutation B one final time, switching sides. Technically that was one round, even though we did both legs. This time we're gonna do warrior one on the left first, then the right. Chair pose, inhale. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, hop back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left side, warrior one, left foot forward, right heel down. Breathe in, press the palms together. Exhale, chaturanga, hands to the ground, lower halfway. Inhale to your up dog. Exhale to your downward facing dog. Right side, warrior one, right foot forward, left heel down. Inhale, press your hands. Exhale, palms to the floor, lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale here. And as you exhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward, hop. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to fold. Chair pose, bend the knees, drop the hips. Lifting up. Press to stand. Arms down alongside the body. So stand at the top of the mat if you're not there already. Just take your mountain pose. Let's keep our feet hip width distance apart. Bring your hands at the front of the chest. Tuck your chin in, close the eyes, and slow down your breath to slow down the heart rate. Feel the heat you've created from those sun salutations. We're going to use that heat to build strength and stability in the legs. So even just now in this mountain pose, feel the soles of the feet firmly planting and anchoring down into your mat and in the ground underneath you. Feel yourself get stronger. Pulling up through the quads to lift the kneecaps. Lifting out of the lower back. So keeping our feet hip-width distance apart, let's drop down into chair pose. Keep your hands at your heart for this one. So notice how maybe your knees are buckling in towards one another. Try to keep them hip-width distance apart, so you need to engage the inner thighs a little bit. Chest stays nice and lifted. Can you drop down a little bit lower? Lower abdominals are hugging in to protect your lower back. Now let's lean on our right leg and see if you can hover your left leg off the floor. This is a slow flow, which means we are not going to rush in and out of these poses. Take your time. Can you lift your left knee up a little bit higher and bend your right knee a little more? Transitioning into warrior three, start to extend your left leg back as you straighten the right leg and lean your chest forward. So I like to keep my hands at my heart. If that's harder for you to balance, feel free to open up your arms to the side or do any other arm variation that works for you. Try to spiral that left hip down so the knee and the toes are pointing down. At most, you are parallel to the floor. Squeeze the glutes so you can lift your left heel up a little more. We'll be making our way into a crescent lunge. So start to bend into your right knee and you're gonna drop your left toes back behind you. Feet are hip-width distance apart. Once you're there, extend the arms up overhead. Bend the right knee a little deeper so the hips can drop. Shoulders are over the hips. Let's bring our left hand to our heart. Right arm straight forward, opening into a twist. Start to pull and reach your right fingertips towards the back of your mat. So opening up the chest. Hips are still facing forward. This is a twist from the mid-back and up. Still bending the right knee. Slowly unwind, come back. Reach the arms up overhead, deep breath in. On the exhale, plant your palms to the ground. Let's take our three-legged dog. So reach your right leg all the way up and back. Bend your right knee and open up that hip. Squeeze the glute to help it lift up a little bit higher. And let's straighten and square the right leg so the knee and the toes are pointing down. And we're gonna step that foot forward in between the palms to the top of the mat. Lower your left knee down. We're gonna come back into our low lunge. Reaching the arms up, taking a little side bend here. Catch a hold of your left wrist with your right hand. As you inhale, find some length. And on the exhale, reach your left fingertips over to the right. And really try to pull that arm with your right wrist or right hand. Coming all the way back up to center. Fingertips rest to the floor. Let's straighten the right leg and fold. Stretching deeper into the hamstrings. Soften the neck so the head can be heavy. Lifting up. Start to bend into your right knee. We are going to move into our vinyasa. So plant your palms, tuck the back toes under so you can lift your left knee off the floor. Inhale to find your plank pose. So you modify this any way you want to, just like we did in our Sun A's. Inhale here. Exhale, we lower either all the way or you hover. Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Reaching through the heels, pressing the chest to the thighs, straightening out the arms. Find your breath, find your stability. At the end of your next exhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, look past your palms, step or hop forward. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Press to stand, arms reach up. Hands come together at the heart. Widen your feet, hip width distance apart. So all 10 toes are pointing forward towards the top of the mat. Chair pose, bend the knees, drop the hips. Reach your weight back into your heels, a little bit lighter on the balls of the feet, trying not to grip your toes in the floor for balance. Chest is lifted, shoulders are drawing down. Let's lean our weight onto our left leg and left thigh this time and pull your right knee in. Really strong glutes, strengthening the quads. Can you bend the left knee a little more and pull the right thigh in towards the belly? Warrior 3, straighten the left leg as you extend your right leg back. Remember, you can change up the arms if it helps you. Pull the lower belly in to protect your lower back. Reach through your back heel and breathe. We'll come into our crescent lunge. So left knee bends a little bit until the right toes can drop down. Feet are hip width distance apart. Once you're stable in the legs, arms can extend up. Left knee is bending, right knee might need to bend just a little bit too. To come into our twist on this side, you'll bring your right hand to your heart and your left arm straight forward. Pull that left arm back as you draw the left shoulder back until the fingertips come to reach towards the back of your mat. Still bending that left knee. Not twerking the hips, so try to keep them facing forward. Super strong legs. Slowly bring that left arm back to facing forward. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, palms to the floor. Take your three-legged dog. So left leg reaches all the way up. And then the left knee bends so the left hip can open up nice and wide. Straighten and square your left leg so the knee and the toes point down. And then carefully step that foot forward in between the palms. Right knee lowers to the ground. We're coming up into our low lunge. Arms up. For our side bend, this time you need to hold on to your right wrist with your left hand. Lengthen as you breathe in. Exhale, reach your right fingertips towards the left. Pay attention to your breath. Are you still engaging your Ujjayi breath in and out through the nose? Or does it feel short or shallow or restricted in any way? Coming back up. Fingertips come to the floor as we straighten our left leg and fold. Lift the head and the chest. Start to bend into your left knee, plant the palms, tuck the back toes under so you can lift your right knee off the ground. Inhale to plank. Moving through your vinyasa, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to your upward facing dog. Exhale, hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. At the end of this exhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Press to stand, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands at the heart. So still standing at the top of the mat, let's pull our right knee in towards our chest. So you can either hold on to the back of your thigh if the flexibility is limited, otherwise you can hold on to the front of your shin as you pull that leg in. And just do a few circles here with your right ankle, flexing and pointing the toes. Standing up really, really tall and pulling up through the left leg. Reversing the directions of the circles with that right ankle. Keep your right knee floating up. Just bring your hands on your hips. From here, we are going to step into our warrior one. So very lightly, you're going to bring that right leg all the way back. You want your right foot to be at about a 45-degree angle. Left knee is bending deeply. Arms can reach up. Squaring off to the top of the mat, take an inhale here. And as you exhale, open to your warrior two. So right foot goes parallel to the short edge of your mat. Left knee is still bending and you're trying to press that left knee open towards the little toe side of your foot. Gazing forward, palms are facing down. So a very strong, very grounding pose. Let's reverse our warrior. Right hand down, left arm up. And coming back. Let's straighten that left leg. So you'll need to bring your hands on your hips, turn the heels in, toes out. So you want your feet to be open at about a 45-degree angle or so the toes are pointing up towards the corners of your mat. Interlace your fingers so the palms face down, and then bend the knees as you drop the hips and reach your arms up overhead for temple pose. We want to avoid letting the hips and the chest lean forward and back. Try to stay in one nice long line and careful that the knees aren't buckling in. Squeeze the glutes and press them open, sink down a little deeper. So one of my all-time favorite poses, great to increase flexibility through the inner groin and inner thighs. Wonderful way to strengthen the legs as well and elongate through the spine. Take one more breath here. And let's press all the way back up. Bring your hands on your hips. Turn your feet in so feet are parallel to the shorter edges of your mat. And hinge at the waist as you fold down. Fingertips can rest down towards the floor or stay on the hips if the floor is a little too far away. Shake out your head. Taking a good 10 or so deep breaths here. Let's walk the palms forward so we can lift our chest up about halfway. And then walk your hands towards the top of the mat. We're coming back into our lunge stance. So left toes point forward, right heel comes off the ground. Keep your back knee off the mat. Right hand plants underneath the shoulder. Open to your twist, left arm up. So aligning your left shoulder over your right, pull the lower belly in. Those of you that are flexible, just be careful that your right shoulder isn't popping forward. You're really just trying to keep one over the top of the other, nothing more. Only looking up if it feels okay for your neck. One more breath. Exhale, left hand down. Let's take our vinyasa, inhaling to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to your upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog for 3 breaths. Can you stretch into the legs and into the chest a little more? Or breathe a little bit deeper while you're here. At the end of your exhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Press to stand, both arms reach up overhead. Hands come to the heart. At the front of the mat, lean your weight onto your right leg and pull your left knee in towards you. So remember, you can hold on to the thigh or the front of the shin and start to trace some circles, bringing mobility back in the ankle and in the toes. You can reverse the direction of those ankle rolls, balancing on that right leg without digging the toes in the ground. Notice if you're still feeling an opening at the chest or if you're rounding and contracting forward. Let's keep our left knee hovering up. We're gonna bring our hands on our hips, carefully stepping back to warrior one. So right knee needs to bend a little bit and bring your left leg as far back as you can with that left heel at about a 45-degree angle. Reach the arms up. Right knee is bending, drop the hips. Inhale in your warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Open up the arms, left foot is parallel to the shoulder edge of your mat, gazing forward. Press your right knee open. Drop the hips a little more if you can. Let's reverse, left hand down, right arm up. So nothing is changing in the legs here. This is for your upper body, getting a nice side bend. Use your core to help yourself come back up. And we're going to straighten our right leg, hands on our hips, temple pose again. So heels are in, feet are open at about a 45-degree angle or so. Interlace your palms and you're gonna bend the knees to drop the hips. Flip the palms as you reach your arms up overhead. Tailbone is reaching down, sink down as low as you can without letting the knees buckle in. Feel the glutes engage, pressing up through the hands a little bit higher, really working the arms. Release as you straighten the legs, hands on your waist, bring your feet parallel to the shoulder edges of your mat. Inhale, chest rises. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold down. So taking your wide-legged fold again, fingertips can rest on the floor. Shake out your head. Let yourself relax and soften in the pose. You might need to adjust your stance, either by bringing the feet closer or further away from each other. Really adjust however you need to here so that you can get an opening in the hamstrings that isn't too much, that isn't risking injury. Let's walk our palms forward, lift the chest, and then walk your hands, find that same little lunge. So right toes are pointing forward, left heel is off the ground. Plant the left hand underneath your shoulder and extend your right arm up as you twist. Looking down, right hand meets the floor, take your flow. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to your up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Meeting at the top of the mat. Lift your heels. Bend your knees, look forward, step or hop. Halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Press to stand, arms reach up overhead. And then exhale, bring your hands to your hearts. We're gonna come into our eagle pose from here. So keep your legs pretty close in towards one another and just start to bend the knees a little, so there is a soft little bend. And then lean your weight onto your left thigh and left leg, and you're gonna cross your right thigh over the left. If balance is tricky, keep your toes on the floor for support. Otherwise, you can pick up those left toes or maybe even loop them around the back of your shin or the back of your calf. Try to keep your knees facing forward so you're not opening up towards the left. And we're gonna bend our elbows at a 90-degree angle. Right arm is underneath the left, binding once or twice. Bend both knees generously. Find something to focus on that is not moving and pull the lower belly in. We're going to keep our arms exactly as they are. Just start to unwind the legs and extend your right leg back into your warrior three with eagle arms. So we're really working our balance. Try not to dip the chest too low. We're not here forever. Come all the way up to stand. Pull your right knee in with you. Let's bring our hands on our hips, tree pose, our last little balancing pose. Bring your right foot to the inside of your left leg. Press that right knee open. Hands can be at the heart or reach up towards the sky. Lengthen a bit more. Hands draw at the center of the chest. Release your right foot down and shake it out. Give your left leg a little bit of a shake just to release, and then we'll move on to the other side. So hands at the heart, a little bend in the knees. This time you're gonna cross your left thigh over your right. Maybe the toes stay on the floor, or they can lift up, or even loop around. Keep facing forward with the elbows bent. This time it's your left arm underneath your right. That's binding once or maybe twice. Drop the hips down low. Keep your chest lifted. Everything is facing forward towards the top of your mat. Our arms will stay like this. Just unravel the legs, take warrior three. Left leg extends back behind you. Pressing the forearms towards each other. Come all the way back up to center. Squeeze the hip flexors. Let's come into tree pose. Left foot to the inside of your right leg. Press that left knee open. Choose where you want to keep your hands, either at the chest or reaching up like the branches of a tree. So your legs and feet are rooting into the earth, finding stability. Pull the lower abdominals in. Careful not to stick the chest out. Bring your hands back to being at the front of the heart and carefully release. Shake out the right leg. Let's take a little vinyasa to close off that sequence. At the top of the mat, inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the palms, hop back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a hip opener from this down dog by coming into pigeon pose. Reach your right leg up towards the sky, and then bring your right knee behind your right wrist as you extend your left leg back behind you. Level out your hips so you're not leaning on one side more than the other. And once you have some stability there, you can fold forward. Use as little strength in the upper body as possible. Let gravity do the work for you as we start to slow down our practice and cool down. Let's walk the palms back in as we lift the chest. And it's up to you if you want to come back to down dog or tabletop pose, whatever helps you release that right leg. You can go ahead and shake it out or stretch it back or do some knee circles, hip circles. Really leaving that part up to you so that you can find what feels good. And we'll switch sides. So left leg up and then bring your left knee behind your wrist. Stretch your right leg back behind you and level out your hips and your pelvis before folding forward. Making our way into our last downward dog of our class. So make any little final movements or adjustments that feel good. Knees come down to the floor. Let's come and take a seat. Take a very, very simple twist. So just sit up nice and tall. Let's reach the arms up overhead. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring your left hand towards your right thigh, right fingertips behind you, open the chest. Inhale, reach the arms back up. Exhale, twist the other way, right hand to your left knee. Left shoulder is pulling and drawing back. Unwrap and unwind, and let's lower all the way down for a very well-deserved Shavasana, our final resting pose, shrugging the shoulders away from the ears, taking up space with the arms and the legs. Come back to whatever breath is natural to you and allow the eyes to close. This is your time to let go and surrender. Observing the effects that your practice has had on your body, on your mind, on your breath, soaking it all in. I encourage you to stay here for a few minutes, really as long as you would like. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.